as ever.
Am I in the shot, Steve? Or did Tom just shaft me down here to the end of the table so he can finally get rid of me?
Hi, welcome to tonight's show. You're with Tom, Brian and Steve, and this is NRL from the Sidelines.
You're unbelievable.
And I'm guessing after what you've just said, this is a test.
Test. It tests me every single time I'm sitting here.
Testing. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 2.
If you look up the dictionary of testing, you'll see a photo.
So welcome to tonight's show. You're with Tom, Brian and Steve, and this is NRL from the Sidelines. And firstly, let me apologise for last week. We had a bit of a, let's just call it a medical hiccup, and we'll just leave it at that. Yeah, no, was it? Well,
that sounds like he's drinking.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
No,
well, he does that too.
Let's just not go there.
Oh, wow.
So welcome to tonight's show. As we do every time this week, we're going to talk about the round of NRL that's just been played, and that is going to be played next week. Gentlemen, how are we?
We're pretty good.
Pretty good.
Okay, after this show, we're going to have a conversation. When I ask that question, there's more to be than pretty good.
Okay, take two. Take two.
Honestly.
We're fantastic.
You can see how difficult it is for me. So, gentlemen, we have just had round 4 played of the NRL, and I'm embarrassed to actually say that the first game was probably the worst game I have seen in 2 years.
The first half was bad, but
The
watchable.
Titans and Tigers.
Yeah. The first half was bad, but watchable. The second half, it was... What is this?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, none of them could score a try, and it's not like they didn't have opportunities. The Titans, I think, were over the line 3 or 4 times.
It was a woeful game.
And in the end, I thought the result was unfortunate because I actually think that, you know, in a marginal area, I think the Tigers deserved to win that game.
Yeah.
And that was heartbreak, absolutely. And particularly given where they sit and given all the dramas around them, that was just like another slap in the face, you know.
It was.
I just felt
I was happy.
sorry for them.
I picked the Titans, so I've got no complaints.
And I picked them too, but in the end, I thought the Tigers probably deserved it.
Yeah.
The sad thing is it now leaves the Tigers the only team in the comp without a win.
Yeah.
Should we talk about their defence? The Tigers' defence.
I thought the defence was good. Yeah. I think the Titans were off.
What do you mean exceptional? They didn't get anything thrown at them.
I didn't say exceptional, but
He did.
no, I thought the Tigers' defence was solid.
Yeah.
The Titans didn't throw a lot at them, and they were probably a bit down on the usual form.
Yeah.
But you know, maybe that's credit to the Tigers as well.
Look, Tigers were as expected, but the Titans are one of those teams that a lot of people have picked to make the 8, just miss the 8. They were woeful.
They were.
They were woeful.
They were. So
Yep.
so let's move on. It was
Okay.
a bad game.
Yeah.
On Friday night, 18-0 Cronulla over Newcastle. This surprised me. I honestly thought Newcastle would throw a lot more. Although we've all talked about how good Cronulla are.
They're going red hot.
Yeah, they really are.
Yeah.
Look, they had the nucleus of a good team. They've got monster pack. Their back rowers are big.
Monster. They've got monster centres now too.
Oh, well, that's right. I was about to say,
An ex-South monster centre, yeah.
Talakai hovers between back row and centre, and he is an absolute monster. But I mean, Kennedy's playing well. That Sione Katoa, he can score a try, can't he?
Yeah,
the way
yeah.
he dived up and he actually leapt over and put his he was.
That was an
upside
exceptional
down.
bit of play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and Hines is sort of taking to his role really well.
I think we all had Cronulla in our top 8. Are we now suggesting top 4?
No.
I think maybe 5 or 6. I think they could get as
I
high as
actually
5 or
think
6.
the wheels will fall off eventually. So yeah, I think that teams go through down spots. So even look at Penrith over the last few weeks. They haven't been good, but they've won, and they've won well. So I don't know. Cronulla, when they go off, are they going to win? I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to tell.
And then if that smashes their confidence, I'm not prepared to pick them top 4. No.
What about the Knights?
I don't think Knights will make the 8 based on the way they're performing. They started out well, but you got to remember who they beat.
They beat the Roosters. They ambushed the Roosters team. The Roosters just weren't ready.
Yeah.
But I think there's all talk about Ponga being distracted as well because he's had these meetings with Wayne Bennett, and he's got a knee injury, so that's not helping.
Yeah, he didn't look like.
But you can't rise and fall on one player, and also the Mitch Barnett issue. as well.
Yep.
That's probably not helping either. Anyway, that's enough said about it.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go on to the next game where South beat the Roosters 28-6. Oh, hang
So
on.
you're in the wrong game.
Sorry, that's last week.
He knew it. He
course
just
he
had to
does.
say it.
He lives in the past constantly.
Do we
He
want
lives
to
in the
talk about
past.
that game?
Absolutely.
I want to
you
talk
do.
about. I don't want to talk about this one. Penrith Panthers 26, South 12.
Why not? It was a good game.
I thought it was a very good game, and Penrith always looked to be in charge. They always looked to be like they were going to win.
Yeah.
South lost Nichols in the first tackle, almost.
Yeah.
But look, Penrith just had the edge on them, no doubt.
Yeah, I think the Rabbitohs are still trying to sort themselves out.
Yeah.
I think Ilias is growing. I think each week he's looking a bit better each time.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was listening to Jonathan Thurston the other day, and he was saying that he reckons 90 to 100 games before a halfback or 5'8" knows how to play and win and get their team to win.
Oh, well, we'll see him in 3 or 4 years.
Well, that's realistically that's it.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's coming along great guns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And I'm, as a South supporter, I'm not worried about their slow start.
no,
2014, we were 1-3 after 4 rounds, and playing St George in round 5.
Yep.
This year we're 1-3 after 4 rounds, playing St George in round 5.
well, you better hope you win.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, look, and Penrith, when Brian Toho was injured, it was like, oh, geez, are they going to have that person to pull them back out from their try line after the big kicks?
I tell you what, that's right.
Those two young blokes,
they can find a new
incredible.
superstar, can't they?
Well, I mean, we knew that for a long time. They've got a big
Yeah.
nursery, and there's guys just clambering over each other to get into that team.
But to be perfectly honest, their forwards are exceptional.
No.
They go forward, and Isaiah Yeo is man of the match, man of the match, man of the match, man of the match.
Yeah,
He's looking like the Dally M winner at the moment, isn't he?
He's absolutely slaying it in defence, plays both sides in attack. And I think, good luck to him.
And Cleary didn't even look like he had 6 months.
No.
Well, I think he looked rusty, but I mean, he was in a good team. They do the little things right.
They do
That's
the
the
little things
thing.
very well, yeah.
Although some of those little things is laying all over the ruck, but that's another issue.
Yeah. They do. And you know what? South was 63% of completion, and you're never going to beat Penrith at that.
No.
All right, let's move on to the Warriors 20 over Brisbane 6.
This was a bad game too.
This was a bad game.
I thought that first game was bad. This was a bad game
I
too.
was starting to think expansion may not be a good idea right now.
It's just the Broncos were so unbelievably average, and they had plenty of opportunity, plenty of near misses.
Yeah.
But they and I don't understand, because if you grab that Broncos team and you look at it, it's not a bad team.
No.
They've got players there. So I always think in my head, when you're looking at a team, if they were to go to another club, would they automatically make the first grade side?
Yep.
And you look at the Broncos team and you go, yeah, most of them would. I mean, Corey Oates is a bit slower now, but Herbie Farnsworth, Tony Staggs, Adam Reynolds,
And Payne Haas,
Patrick
Carrigan.
like they're a team of really, really good players.
I even like Flegler, even though
I like Flegler.
he was on the wrong side of things this week. The last couple of weeks.
But
What surprised me, I think, was also the fact that Reynolds scored their only try from a grubber.
Yep.
So it wasn't like a backline move or anything. It was just it was only Reynolds. If it wasn't, there'd be 0.
And Albert Kelly, I mean, he's getting on, but he does some good things for them sometimes. And
He does.
He's lost to them as well.
yeah, it's I don't get it.
Good time to be playing the Bronx.
Yeah, and you said the team that plays them into form. Warriors, Sean Johnson was good first week back after a bit of injury. I thought they were good. Reece Walsh was good.
Interestingly enough, when Nathan Brown came out a couple of weeks ago and said enough's enough,
Yeah.
now they've actually started hitting their straps. I mean, they're not,
Yeah,
they haven't beaten anyone of note, but at least they're starting to win now.
yeah. No, I agree. And that's the games they've got to win. They've got to beat those teams that they're tipped easily to beat.
Yeah. All right, let's go to Glen Willow Stadium where the Manly Sea Eagles beat Canberra 25-6.
It wasn't looking like that in the first 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah, it was easy. We always had it in the bag.
I got to say, I'm surprised. I'm surprised that the Raiders was so bad.
The Raiders weren't bad.
But let me say, Cherry Evans was exceptional.
Oh, it's a kicking game.
I don't think that the Raiders could get into the game.
No, Manly wouldn't let him.
That was like to me. The thing that's been missing from Manly over the last few weeks is that go forward aggression.
Yep.
And Josh Alawai coming back after 8 weeks of suspension or whatever it was just phenomenal.
Yep.
Like that set the benchmark for the rest of the forwards, and they went forward. And we keep saying it over and over again. You're not gonna, if you're a halfback, you can't play behind a beaten pack and continue to be a superstar.
Yeah.
If your forward pack is beaten, you look beaten as a half. So yeah, hats off to Manly. They were awesome. I'm very glad that the forwards stood up. Yep. And Tom playing for 70 minutes with a grade 3 medial tear.
I don't know why you played him. He didn't. But even at the beginning of the game, he didn't look comfortable.
And he's saying, "I'm sweet. I'll be playing next week."
I'm a bit surprised because he looked like he'd been limping around for the last 2 weeks, and then
and he was strapped.
Yeah. So I don't know. Look, in saying that, what did he? Ran for 250 metres, set up try, scored one himself.
Yeah. I just hope he's back for Origin.
He will be.
Yeah.
He'll be fine. Go, Tom.
Don't care about Manly as long as he's back for Origin.
All
right. Okay, Queensland Country Bank Stadium. Again, I was surprised by the result. Sydney Roosters 28, North Queensland 4.
Well, hang on. Can I ask a question first? Why were you surprised by the result?
Because North Queensland have been playing reasonably well the last couple of weeks.
They played the Broncos last week.
And the Dogs. And they lost to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they won against the Broncos convincingly.
Yeah. Look, they showed a lot of enterprise against the Broncos.
And the Roosters have been pretty poor.
They were. But the real Roosters turned up on Saturday night. Yeah. Now, I know you're going to talk about the sin bins. Roosters have no control over that, and I'd be embarrassed if I was the Cowboys because, 3 sin bins is shocking.
Well,
the first one I think was legitimate.
Yeah.
But the more I look at these incidents, the second one I think was probably borderline because it was late.
No,
it was a bit late.
No way.
It was a bit late.
There is no way it was late.
I think it was late. The third one I thought was a bit of a nothing, honestly. He threw a swinging arm at the guy, clipped him around the neck. I think that was stupid, honestly.
I was going to say, we're lucky that swinging arms don't get sin bins, or Rory Hargraves would have been in the bin for 20 minutes.
Oh, come on.
But see, that's my problem. I'm sorry, I got to disagree. Yeah. I don't believe that tackle was late. I think you cannot stop a player who's prepared to launch himself into a tackle. So what do? We now say, don't tackle the halfback.
No.
Yeah.
So if he runs past you, you're in trouble.
Yep.
And if he passes, you can't do that. You've got to allow.
But he didn't wrap his arms.
Late is late.
He wasn't wrapping his arms.
You don't have to wrap your arms.
He was throwing his shoulder at him.
No. A tackle is a tackle.
I guess my point at the end of the game was, would that have made a difference to the result? I don't think so.
No, it wouldn't have. I don't think still would have won. But it's a bad look on the game.
Absolutely.
When one side loses a play for 30 minutes.
I agree. I thought Manu was exceptional. Here's a guy who was offered nearly $1 million to go to another club.
Yep.
Stayed at our club, and look at that. Look at the value he has as a centre. He's brilliant.
Yeah, that's right.
And when Teddy goes to Origin, he'll slot right into fullback, no problem at all.
That's 300,000.
That's how good he is.
And a paper bag.
Yeah.
No,
it's been like this for 40 years. They've been watching this game or something, and
but the Roosters
same jokes.
And the Roosters have been doing it for 40 years.
The Roosters have only been
because they're jokes. They're new jokes, is what they.
Paper bags have only been around since Uncle Nick came onto the scene, and that hasn't been 40 years.
Anyway, I was extremely impressed with just with the flow of play from the Roosters. I thought they were great.
All right, Amy Park 44-0 Storm over Bulldogs.
Wow.
I mean, I knew they were going to win.
Steve, question without notice, Steve.
Uh-oh.
Were the Bulldogs that bad, or were the Storm that good?
Yes.
Thanks.
It's interesting that the Storm score a lot of their tries from their own half.
Yep.
It says something about their attack, and so teams have to learn how to defend that attack.
Can I say, one thing I've noticed that Bellamy does, is he picks intelligent players. You know, he really does. There was one time where Melbourne were... they got an intercept on their 20-metre line or whatever it was. And if you watch the footage, as soon as an intercept was taken, Pappenhausen was running around the back.
Yeah.
He wasn't waiting, and all the others were still standing. But here, as soon as he saw it, he thought, I've got to run. And he was the one who then took the final pass to score the try. He seems to pick players who are intelligent.
Well,
or he teaches them that.
I think it's about knowing your game. Okay, look, I was going to say I've listened to a lot of rugby league interviews over the last couple of weeks. Andrew Johns was saying that when he went to Newcastle, so obviously their centres were a bit of a problem. So he's gone to Bradman Best and he said, "How do you like to get the ball?" And Bradman Best said, "Early. I want early ball so I can try and run over the top."
Yep.
So he goes, "Yep, no problem." And so he said, so we went to a bit of coaching and I was trying to get the guys to get him early ball. I went to Dane Gagai and said, "How do you like to get the ball?" And he said, "Well, I like to get it at this angle with that player moving here and this over here and this player here and positioning like this."
Yep.
He said, that's the difference between knowing the game and not knowing your game.
Yeah.
And I think what Bellamy does better than most coaches is say, how do you like to play your game?
Yep.
What do you like to do? And how do we get our attacking players that ball in that position?
And how do you know that he says that from his players?
No. I reckon that's what he's doing because you have a look at someone
so you're
like
guessing basically.
Yeah. Well, I heard Ryan Pappenhausen talking about Bellamy's coaching.
Yep.
And he said I was trying to hit the player and then step them.
Right.
Yep.
And Bellamy's saying, "Look at your pace. Why don't you run, go around the back of play, and we'll switch the play to focus on you." It's common sense when you think about it. I just don't understand why more clubs don't play like that.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got to be really aware of your game.
But you also have to have a coach that can coach like that.
But how he looks at someone, and let's take Pappenhausen again, as a skinny kid who Balmain rejected because he was too small.
Yep.
It says, well, no, I can turn this kid into something.
Yep.
And to what he is today. Yeah. And I don't think he's even reached his potential.
Oh, it's sensational. Yeah.
But it's his speed that does it all.
His read of the game. And I think too, that team is full of runners.
Yeah.
Jerome's a runner, Munster's a runner, Pappenhausen's a runner, and they've got speed. I mean, they've got Coates outside with Remus Smith.
I was going to say, and about their defence, you'll watch the game this weekend and you'll see what I've seen. Bellamy, when he has the markers in, Melbourne, when they have markers in, as soon as they make the tackle, they're running they're backing straight back towards the defensive line.
Yep.
They're not worried about that one pass from the ruck out.
No.
They're just worried about getting back in the defensive line and plugging the hole.
Yeah.
Every other club that I watched this weekend, the markers stayed in place and waited.
Yep.
And so they went left and right, like traditional, you go left, I go right, we'll cut off the play. Melbourne don't do that. Melbourne are happy to have that one pass off the ruck and have their defensive line move up. They play different football.
Yeah, they do.
Anyway,
and they have for a while. And the Dogs, I'm sorry, they were pretty average.
Yep. Absolutely.
And for the team they have, I think Barrett is going to have a bit of an issue if they don't start.
I don't rate Barrett.
And I tell you what, they've got the next 4 or 5 weeks are tough for them.
I don't.
South, Penrith, so forth.
I know nothing about coaching, but I don't rate Barrett. I just think I don't know.
Brian loves him. Brian loves him.
He nearly won my club a wooden spoon. Nearly. That's very.
Hey, at least they would have won something in the last 10 years. Yeah. All right, let's move on. Okay, before we go to this game,
Steve, Brian, you should sing the praises of Parramatta Eels in this game.
I'm going to say, Brian, question without notice.
It's not without
Parramatta
notice.
Eels.
Yep.
I need you to say right now that they were exceptional the other night, and that Moses was exceptional the other night.
No,
you've got to look into the camera and say.
Parramatta.
You know why I'm asking, right?
Parramatta were
look in the camera.
Clinical.
Look in the camera.
And Mitchell, Dylan Moses. Oh,
come on! You got to admit it.
They were good.
They were good. They were very, very good.
Dylan Brown was awesome.
Yeah. But Mitchell Moses, he stepped into his role for the first time in a long time.
For the first time in a long time, yeah, I think you said it.
No, but I think it's been building this season, and there seems to be that little bit of extra belief in their team at the moment. Whether it lasts, I mean, they've gone 9 weeks without a loss sometimes, and then they'll fold. But it remains to be seen. But geez, they were exciting. I loved watching what they were doing on Sunday night. I know you hate the team. I've got a soft spot for them, but I loved what they were doing this week, and they just seemed to be enjoying their football. Mitchell Moses, he gets hammered from pillar to post, but I thought that he was tremendous. Yeah.
One of the things that I did notice in that game was that Moses Mbai was I don't know what went on in Hook's head to play Mbai at fullback.
Well, because he dropped Tyrone
but
Sloan.
Moses has been playing 5'8" and hooker.
Yeah.
So he was defending in the line.
Yeah.
So every time Parramatta came down, well, and
it was a dumb. It was.
there were just little kicks across. There was no fullback in the team.
No. They probably need to persist with Tyrell Sloan.
Yeah, they should.
Yeah, of course they do.
Yeah.
The guy's or Cody Ramsey was playing fullback and doing a good job for him.
Yeah.
What? I don't understand it all. And I got to say, I think Reid Marnie is probably the number 2 hooker in the game.
He was exceptional
behind Harry Grant. And honestly, I'm saying I think Cook is losing it.
Well, the best hooker...
Cook won't be picked for Australia at the end of the year. I can tell you now.
No, it'll be Harry Grant by a mile.
Yeah.
Yep. And who's going to be the New South Wales hooker then? If they don't pick Cook.
Well, it'll be Cook if it's
Appy.
New South Wales. But
Appy's getting old too.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, but I tell you what, he's still playing better than
Appy's
Cook.
playing better than Cook.
Yeah.
Appy's playing... No, you know what the difference is? Appy's playing smarter than Cook.
All right.
Yep.
Later, gentlemen.
Women's game? You told me?
Okay, yes,
you talked about the women's game?
Yes.
Are we not going to do the ladder first? Let's do the ladder first.
Right. Okay, go on.
Panthers 8, Storm, Eels, Sharks in 6. There's your top 5.
Excuse me.
What?
You said on 6. You said I thought you said in 6th because we're 6th.
No, I said that's the top. No,
okay, fine. Okay.
No.
There's no bias in this.
Panthers, Storm, Eels, Sharks.
Yeah.
There's your top. Well, I said your top. I said 6. I meant 4. There's 6 points.
That's right. So
6
you
points.
Your mistake.
Top
Thank
4.
You. Yep.
No, and then you've got this bunch of teams: Cowboys, Warriors, Knights, Titans, Sea Eagles.
You missed it again.
Excuse me, Sea Eagles, Broncos, Raiders, and the Roosters. On 4
Leave
points.
It until last. We're 6th, by the way.
No, you're not.
You've
got 4. You've got 4 points.
We're in 6th position on the ladder.
4 points.
We are in 6th
See,
position
I can't do the ladder when Tom interrupts me continually. And then you got a bunch of losers with only 1 win: Rabbitohs, Dogs, and Dragons, and the Tigers have got a duck egg. Nothing.
Not likely. Okay, Tom.
Yes.
Women's.
So women's game.
And you can't spend too long on the Roosters.
No, that's okay. So I didn't get to see the Dragons and Titans game because I was busy doing things that matter on.
So you failed your assignment.
On a Sunday.
Is that what you're saying?
But the Dragons won fairly comfortably, 24-18 against what has been a pretty good Titans side. I've got to say through the season. The Broncos were odds on to win this game against the Roosters. The Roosters finished 4th only because the Eels got smashed by the Dragons, I think, the week before. So they limped into the finals.
Yep.
16-0, and they lose a player down to 12. The Broncos are 16-0 up with 13 against 12. And the mighty Roosters girls came back to, I think it was 16-10 at halftime. Yep. And they had all the running in the second half. I like to think that they finally started to find their game at the right point. I think it's going to be tough beating the Dragons, honestly.
Won't beat the Dragons.
But who knows? They've got a lot of self-belief. John Strange, they've had a different coach every single year of the NRLW, the Roosters. But John Strange has won a premiership a number of times with the Central Coast Roosters, the young girls team and the men's team. And so maybe he's starting to get them working together. Anyway, should be an exciting game on Sunday.
Should be.
Up at Redcliffe.
Yeah, it's a shame they're not going to play it as a curtain raiser to
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay,
anyway.
Gentlemen, let's move on quickly. We're running out of time. On to next week's rounds. We're on Thursday night. It's the Newcastle Knights against the Manly Sea Eagles.
Sea Eagles should win this game. It is Knights' home game.
You know, I want the headline to read: "No Tom, no troubles."
Yep, we'll see.
You okay?
Oh, look, that young bloke, he did all right. Young Cooler did all right last week, and he's a fullback.
Yeah.
I think he'll do all right.
You're going Manly.
Yes.
Tom?
Yeah, I'll go man.
Yeah, I think I have to agree.
Bags
What?
me, and then he goes and yep.
At least I'm not being biased. If I was being biased, I'd say no, Manly can't win it.
Yep.
Okay, let's go on to Friday night with the Warriors in North Queensland at Moreton Daily Stadium.
So is that the Dolphins' new place?
Yeah, so it's the Warriors' home
New
ground.
Yeah, of course. Look, I think the Warriors will have enough to beat the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys will be smarting. They'll be trying harder, but I think they're going to lose somebody from Saturday night, I think. Maybe from one of those sin bins. I thought they were going to lose somebody.
Warriors.
Cowboys.
He's still on the Cowboys. It's a secret Queenslander.
We finished second last week in the tipping.
Of course
I
he does.
know. I think I've got 2 wins. It was a shocker. Loss after loss. Canberra Raiders. Oh no, sorry.
No.
Brisbane Broncos and Sydney Roosters.
At Suncorp.
Chooks.
Yeah, I think the Chooks will... If they start to get a roll on now, this will be their first chance to win 2 in a row, back-to-back games, but I think the Roosters should have their measure.
Yeah.
And look, they're going to be without Flegler, without Albert Kelly, who's always played better for the Roosters when he played the Roosters, and there's somebody else who's injured as well. So they're going to be down on troops.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I'm going Roosters as well.
Yeah.
Canberra Raiders and Melbourne Storm.
Yeah.
Storm. Jeez, that was a hard one.
Rabbitohs and the Saints.
It's going to be close, but I think the Rabbitohs will just get this
The
game.
Rabbitohs will get it.
What makes you say that, Steve?
They're not playing well.
No, I'm curious. Give me the reason. Give me the reason why you think the Rabbitohs will win.
I like the team they've picked. They've brought Mawali into the team.
Yep.
They have Blake Taft back as number 14.
Yep.
Brings a lot of energy. And I just think they can do it. I don't think South didn't play bad last week. They just couldn't hold the ball. If they held the ball, they would have been a lot better off. And I think this week they will be doing everything they can. I have no doubt we'll win this one.
Yep.
You go?
I'm on Souths with no confidence because I can't believe that Moses Mbai is still the fullback.
Yeah.
So it just astounds me.
This will be the South. This will be South's run. We've got Penrith out of the way. We've got Melbourne out of the way. This will be South's run.
You're going to play Manly when Tom's busted. It won't be a victory if you beat us without Tom.
Oh, yes, it will be. Anytime we beat you, it'll be a victory. I don't care.
A hollow victory. Remember your bet. Remember your wager.
We're weeks away from that.
Yeah.
We're months away.
Let's make
The
it
pressure
now.
mounts. The pressure mounts.
The pressure was mounting on me.
Where are you? 14th, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 points behind both of you, by the way. 1 win.
Excuse me, we're 1 win out of second place.
Well, in that case, we're 2 wins out of second place.
Statistics can tell you anything you want it to.
Oh, okay. Gold Coast and the Eels.
Yeah. Well, the Eels will want. The Titans will want to bounce back, but I think the Eels are on a roll.
Yeah, I'm going.
So I'm going
Too strong.
Yeah.
Sharks and Tigers.
Oh, this could be ugly. This could be very, very ugly.
Can you score 100 points in a game?
No.
Yes.
Well, if the Tigers defend like they did last week, they've got no attack.
No.
Let's face it. But if they defend like they did last week, it could be a comfortable win without a blowout. But Sharks will win.
Yep.
No problem.
All right. Well, if you can score 100 points in a game, Steve,
It'll
the
be
next game.
one.
Dogs and Panthers.
Yeah. Well, it is a home game. Well, it's not actually.
It doesn't
No,
matter.
Comebacks. Oh, it is.
It doesn't matter.
Panthers,
It doesn't matter
No,
what
I
it
know.
is.
I was just trying to find some kind of
No. Panthers
advantage
will
for
win
them.
this one easy.
Yep.
easily. Yeah. So tipping should be
Ooh.
fairly straightforward this week.
Yeah, which means something's going to go wrong.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. All right, gentlemen, that brings us to the end of our show. Thank you all for watching. Anything intelligent you want in the show with, Brian?
Yeah, I just want to retort one of our Facebook fans.
Which one?
Steve?
Brad.
No, Brad. Okay.
Brad.
Are you
Oh,
on
no,
record?
sorry, Mitch Butler.
You want to
Who?
retort him?
Yes. Who says, I feel sorry for Shane Flanagan because he's been thrown under the bus. Kyle Flanagan.
I agree with him.
Now, I initially agreed, and then I thought about it. Flanagan is a halfback.
Yeah.
He's just there to play his game, and he's getting paid Baku money to do it.
Yeah.
So you know what? I don't feel sorry for him. Get out there and play your game halfback.
But the point was that he was making was he's had no time with Burton at all. And now all of a sudden,
well, we don't know what's been happening at training.
This is a self-fulfilling prophecy. So Barrett's going to say, I told you he's no good, because they're going to throw him out against the Panthers.
Barrett was the bloke who signed him.
Yeah, and then signed 2 other halfbacks in front of him.
No, they're already there. I just don't think he's been thrown under the bus. I think
big time.
Too.
I think
most commentators
I think this is Barrett saying, see, I told you we shouldn't have him.
Yeah.
He'll be gone.
Yeah, which is extremely sad for the kid's career.
Yeah, against the Panthers? Come on.
Well,
stick with a known combination.
Well,
if you're not
didn't you guys win a comp with him at halfback?
No.
Oh, pretty close.
No, they had to buy Cooper, remember?
Oh, yeah. That's
2020.
Yeah.
We had him.
And where did you finish then?
Well, we had lots of injuries. We finished 4th, I think.
4th. So he led you to a top 4 team.
Well, I mean, he was surrounded by a good team.
Yeah.
Look, I think he's got...
Anyway, that's all I wanted to say.
And Steve, I tried to make him say Parramatta. He loves Parramatta, but I can't.
That won't happen.
So he's used up all my time, so yeah, good on you.
Is there anything you want to say?
No, just hope the Roosters play like they did last week.
Okay. All right. Thank you all for watching. This is NRL from the Sidelines with Brian, Tom and Steve. And we'll do it all again next week. Thank you. Bye-bye.
See ya.